Our next amazing keynote is a technology veteran who has been driving innovation, profitability, and international expansion in technology companies for close to 15 years. Please welcome the General Manager EMEA at SoftLayer, an IBM company, Jonathan Wisler.
I want to thank everyone for coming, Plowman, the whole Webit team, the president and the mayor. It's nice to see everyone come together, the people that are the pioneers and that are going to build the future. So hopefully we can have some conversations later about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how we can support you. So what I want to talk about is the next generation of cloud. What is that? I mean, when I first started doing cloud for SoftLayer, people were saying, what is cloud? What does it do? And now it's more like this. Cloud, do you speak it? If you don't have cloud in the title of your company, if you don't have cloud in your business model, you might get less investment, you might get less customers. But what is cloud exactly? And what's the future of cloud? The clouds are going to evaporate, they're going to disappear. And with that, thank you. No, actually, clouds are going to disappear because they're going to be running, they're going to be automatic, you won't even see them. They'll be more like air. The air is all around you, and if you can see it, there's most likely a problem. But the clouds will exist, but they'll be behind the scenes, they'll be automated, they'll be supporting the business goals and the growth, but you won't actually see the cloud anymore. So why is it important, and why are we all here? If you look, this is Sir Martin Sorrell, the CEO of WPP. It's the world's largest advertising and communications company. And I saw him do a presentation in Germany, and this was the quote that struck me. He said that half of the revenue, so billions of pounds, didn't exist 15 years ago. So what you're talking about with the cloud, what you're talking about in digital, is creating new markets, creating billions and billions of value for consumers. And a lot of people talk about disruption, but I've been called a disruptor, I like disrupting things, but that's actually not why we do it. It's really about creating better products for people. And this is what you do. You create businesses, you create industries. So before we talk about the future of cloud, let's go back and look at the history of cloud, right? Anyone ever plug in their PC at night and into the grid compute? Nice. So you'll remember that some of the first cloud computing was these university systems. They would say you would sign up and they would use your excess capacity on your computer at night. So it was really about saying, okay, we need compute. We don't want to fund computing, but we will find capacity that people aren't using, and then the applications can run. So they were basically using resources that exist, but were underutilized. So that's where grid computing started, which was the foundation of the cloud. Then clouds evolved to where we are today, which is, there's applications, you have Salesforce, you have another application here, you have a CRM application, but they're not tied together. It's really just a million or literally millions of applications that are all called cloud. And then you have people that are saying .cloud and cloud this, cloud that, but it's spread out all over the place. There's not really a cloud. But let's talk about some of the business drivers, some of the value that cloud does. So this is a customer, an IBM customer, and there's two things I want to talk about them. One is, people talk about startups and they're the future and they're building the future, but innovation can come from anywhere. So this is a subsidiary of Daimler, one of the largest auto manufacturing companies in the world, and what they did is they're reinventing transportation. So what they did is they created what I call a cloud car. So if you think about how often you use your car, maybe you drive it 15, 20% of the time, but most of the time it sits in a parking lot or it sits in a garage or on the street outside in front of your home. But what Daimler's done with Car2Go is they've created a cloud car. So you can get in the car, drive from point A to point B, leave the car there, so your utilization rate or your usage on the car is near 100%. You only use it when you need it and you only pay for what you use. So that's a better utilization rate. It's a better way to manage your assets and a better way to have sharing, or what they call the sharing economy. So that's one of the fundamentals of cloud. Anyone in here heard of Netflix? So what they did is they used to ship DVDs through the post. So you could go online or you go and say, okay, I want to order a DVD, and they would come through the post. And they said, hey, there's this crazy thing called the internet. Maybe we can use that. And now at peak times, they use, in North America, one of the largest internet markets, they use a full 1/3 of the internet bandwidth. So now, they went from shipping DVDs to the post to one of the largest consumers of bandwidth. But why? So I have 2 children. We don't have a television at home, but we have Netflix and YouTube, so they consume media. And then when we go to the grandparents' house, to their nona's house, they say, oh, I want to watch Totally Spies, or I want to watch this program. And then we tell them, no, you can't watch that. You have to watch what's on the television. And my daughter says, why? And that's a good point. Why do you have to watch what they're broadcasting? You want choice. You say, I want to watch what I want, when I want to watch it, how I want to watch it. I want to watch it on my computer, my television, my iPad, however you want to do that. But that's another fundamental business driver of cloud. You give consumers choice. It's a better product. Then marketing. Marketing has really evolved. So people use the internet and it's free, right? It's not actually free. One of the fundamental drivers of the internet, the free internet, if you're not paying subscriptions, is advertising. So we all deal with that, and sometimes we complain about it. But what marketers are doing now, and a lot of our customers, are getting better messaging. So they can profile what you like, how you like it, and again, deliver a better choice. Because you have to deal with advertising, it's the business model, but let's make it better. So with cloud and data, you can have a better conversation with your consumers. Again, it's about a better dialogue and improving what consumers are getting. That's one of the fundamentals of cloud as well. And this is my favorite. I mean, I started in the internet. We were doing these crazy things called banner ads. You might have seen one or two. People were selling dog food over the internet. But now it's grown up. So it's called the industrial internet, but it's really about healthcare. It's about energy. It's about manufacturing. But using the technologies that came out of consumer, applying those into industrial, and you can save a lot of money. You can make things more efficient. So for example, if you can predict that a windmill is going to break, you can fix it before it breaks and literally save millions or hundreds of millions. So it's a clear business model, and using a lot of those same fundamentals that I just mentioned about asset utilization, predictability, and a better dialogue, even if it's a machine-to-machine dialogue. So we're IBM, right? So I have to talk a little bit about the technology that comes underneath it. But it's really a fundamental, almost like the smartphone, right? Because the Apple phone is less than 10 years old. But it's changed a lot of the way we communicate, how we work with people. So again, there's a lot behind the technology that's enabling this for the cloud to work. So IDC, which is a research agency, they said this is the third platform. So it started with mainframe to dumb terminals. Then we went to the PC revolution to a LAN. So everyone had a PC. Everyone probably in this room has a PC. That didn't exist before the 80s. And now we're in the cloud platform. So it's really going to a server-side cloud, then with millions of applications with different access points, mobile, online, etc., even machine access points. So we're going through this technology transformation that's enabling this cloud platform. And the best part about it is it's pay for what you use. So you can get up and running quickly. You don't have to do a large investment to start innovating. Cloud started on the cloud side as virtual public servers, which are great, but sometimes they get crowded. They're a lot like if we're all sharing the same computer and we all want to watch Netflix at the same time. It gets crowded. So they're very good, they're very flexible, but it can get crowded. But there's a bare metal option as well. It's more like having your own car. It's still a cloud, you spin it up, pay for what you use, but if you have data compliancy, it has to stay in country. You have data security issues, so you control the data, not a cloud provider. You can get a bare metal server, so it's really your server, but it sits in a cloud data center. It's automated, and you pay by the hour, pay by the month. It's still cloud, but it's your own. Treat it like your own device. And then the other thing is the network. So at SoftLayer, we've developed a global network, and the amount of data that passes through our network, we're larger than a lot of telcos. In fact, the majority of telcos. And I'm not saying that to brag, well, maybe just a little bit. But when you look at cloud, it's also the telco market, right? So the new telco is cloud. Anyone here use WhatsApp? Anyone use Skype? That's cloud communications. That's not a telco business anymore. WhatsApp does more SMS and MMSs than all the telcos combined. So communication is now running in the cloud. And for you technologists, it's moving up the stack. I had a great conversation last night with the team from OnApp, and we were talking about containerization and the ability, so even if you look at cloud cars, the ability to move assets around is a game changer. So in technology, you can take pieces and move them around from location to location, and that's how the cloud becomes ubiquitous, right? So you can move it around. The cloud will find a place, the resources, where it needs it, when it needs it, and the performance, but that gives an underlying technology to do all kinds of business models. So if you need to move money from point A to point B, you can do that seamlessly. If you need to move data from point A to point B, it can all be automatic. And now the applications are becoming aware. So this is the IBM Bluemix platform. You can go in, put together a front-end web server, a Java development with a back-end voice over IP communication that links into a database. Say, okay, I want to hit deploy. In 15 minutes, you have a development environment up and running. On which cloud? We can tell you which cloud it's on. We can actually tell you where it sits if you need to know, but do you care? It just works. It just works. And that's where cloud's evolving to, where it's running up, an application has a need, a consumer has a need, and the cloud takes care of it, software-driven underneath. So what's the future? You guys are going to answer that, right? The future is cognitive. So you see the artificial intelligence, the predictability, people starting to, the machines are starting to be able to predict what you need, what you want. I talked about online marketing. They can do a profile and better predict what you'll need. So the future is cognitive, where the machines are thinking for you, so you can actually be more creative and think about other things, because you've seen that even with AI, it's limited in what they can do. There's still machines, there's still processors, but if they can take out some of your daily tasks and automate a lot of things, then you can really start to be creative and build things that machines will never think of. And this is a friend of mine, we went to school together. This is a company based in Paris called Snips, and what they're doing is they're taking technology out of the equation. So what they're trying to do is understand your human needs and then fix the technology so it just works behind it based on AI. So that's the goal. That's where the clouds disappear. You have a human need, you have a customer need, you have a business need, and the cloud just fixes it for you. AI is just fixing it. That's cognitive. And then health. You know, this is a big one, right? If you look at healthcare today, pharmaceuticals, they say, we know you're already sick, and then here's your height, here's your weight, here's some medicine. But we're all different, right? And then if you can predict, there's probability matrix and say, how about if I'm preemptive? How about if I'm predictive? And I can cure somebody before they get sick. That's the future, right? That's what's building, and that's what's cloud enabled. Runs on IBM SoftLayer, but they're building that predictability, and then they can say, oh, you have a different genome than someone else, so actually I can give you a better medicine than just, okay, here's your height and weight, and here's the medicine that everyone else takes. But with a lot of this data, we're starting to know people are giving data, whether on purpose or they don't know. I mean, if anyone's ever read the terms on your smartphone, you're giving these companies a lot of data. So what my request to you as technologists is, this has to be done right? People are giving you trust, so you have to trust them. So when you talk about AI and predictability, and you know somebody what they're going to do within a limited range, it should be more like going to your corner market, and you come in and they know your name, they know what you like, and it's ready for you. It shouldn't be like someone peering in the windows of your house and then you're scary, spooky. It's got to be, here's something, I know you, you trust me. So that's what I'm asking you as technologists, is make sure this is a trusted platform, because that's what we need for it to grow. And then just to end with the future of cloud, don't look to me for the future. I'm looking to you guys to build it. So thank you. And just one last thing, if in Budapest there's a cognitive platform at the end of May by IBM, so if you want to learn more about how cognitive is going, there's going to be an event in Budapest at the end of May. Thank you.